Have you ever wondered about the origin of Filipinos? Well, today we're gonna find out together because right now we're gonna react to a video called The Origin of Filipinos According to the Bible. Okay, so basically according to religion. All right, I am pumped. But before we start, maligayang pagbabalik sa akin channel. Ako po si Ovela. I'm a sound engineer, beatmaker, and content creator on YouTube. And let's find out together. Let's go.
Welcome to the Unraveling the Scriptures channel. Asia is a fascinating continent, full of civilizations and peoples with ancient and rich histories. Among these many cultures, the peoples of the Philippines stand out with their diversity and unique heritage. But have you ever wondered if there is any biblical mention of the origins of these people? Does the Bible talk about the origin of Filipinos? In this video, we will explore the possible biblical connections with the peoples of the Philippines, uncovering curiosities and mysteries that involve this nation and the scriptures. This is a highly requested video in our series that explores the origins of all peoples according to the Bible.
That would be interesting if there is actually something said about the Philippines and Filipinos specifically in the Bible, right?
So, be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Join us for another episode of our series, The Origins of Peoples According to the Bible. The Philippines, officially known as the Republic of the Philippines, is an archipelagic country located in Southeast Asia. Situated in the western Pacific Ocean, the country is composed of 7,641 islands, totaling an area of 300,000 square kilometers. These islands are generally divided into three main geographical regions from north to south: Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. The Philippines borders the South China Sea to the west, the Philippine Sea to the east, and the Celebes Sea to the south. The country has maritime borders with Taiwan to the north, Japan to the northeast.
I don't know about you, but the music in the background is making me feel so relaxed. It feels like spa music or music that you would fall asleep to, you know? So far, it's just a basic introduction of the Philippines, and we are all aware of this information so far.
Palau to the east and southeast, Indonesia to the south, Malaysia to the southwest, Vietnam to the west, and China to the northwest. With a diverse population in terms of ethnicities and cultures, the Philippines is the 12th most populous country in the world.
Whew.
The capital is Manila, while Quezon City is the most populous city, both located in the Manila metropolitan area. The Negritos were the first inhabitants of the Philippines, followed by waves of Austronesian peoples. Among these early peoples, we find biblical descendants of Ham, Noah's son, through some of their tribes. The arrival and influence of animism, Hinduism with Buddhist elements, and Islam led to the establishment of island kingdoms governed by datus, rajas, and sultans. Extensive foreign trade with empires such as the later Tang and Song also brought Chinese immigrants, who gradually settled in the archipelago and mixed with the local population over the centuries. The arrival of Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer leading an expedition for Castile, marked the beginning of Spanish colonization.
Yep.
In 1543, the Spanish explorer Ruy López de Villalobos named the archipelago Las Islas Filipinas, in honor of King Philip II of Castile. Spanish colonization, through New Spain, began in 1565 and brought the Philippines under the rule of the Crown of Castile as part of the Spanish Empire for over 300 years. During this period, Catholic Christianity became the predominant religion, and Manila emerged as the western center of trans-Pacific trade.
It became the predominant religion, but honestly, it feels like it was more than a religion. It felt like it was an actual government, you know? They governed with religion.
The Philippine Revolution began in 1896, coinciding with the Spanish-American War of 1898. After Spain's defeat, the territory was ceded to the United States, and the Filipino revolutionaries declared the First Philippine Republic. The subsequent Philippine-American War ended with the United States taking control of the territory.
Yeah.
This control lasted until the Japanese invasion during World War II. After the islands were recaptured by the United States, the Philippines gained independence in 1946. The country experienced a tumultuous period with democracy, including the overthrow of a decades-long dictatorship through a peaceful revolution. Speaking a bit about the etymology of the name, Philippines, during his 1542 expedition, Spanish explorer.
We're almost at the middle of this video, and so far it's like a summary of the Philippines. We want to know if there is something about the origin of Filipinos in the freaking Bible. That's why we clicked on this video.
Luis Lopez de Villalobos named the islands of Leyte and Samar as Filipinas, in honor of the Prince of Asturias, who later became Philip II of Castile. Over time, the name Las Islas Filipinas came to designate the Spanish possessions in the archipelago. Before this, the Spanish used other names to refer to the islands in the region, such as Islas del Poniente, Western Islands, Islas del Oriente, Eastern Islands, and San Lazaro, Islands of St. Lazarus, the name given by Ferdinand Magellan. During the Philippine Revolution, the Malolos Congress proclaimed the Philippine Republic, the Republic of the Philippines. The American colonial authorities referred to the country as the Philippine Islands, a translation of the Spanish name. With the Philippine Autonomy Act and the Jones Act, the United States began to adopt the name Philippines. The official title, Republic of the Philippines, was established in the 1935 Constitution as the name of the future independent state and has been maintained in all subsequent constitutional revisions. The ethnic diversity in the Philippines is remarkable, influenced by both external factors and the archipelago's fragmented geography. According to the 2020 census, the largest ethnic groups in the country are the Tagalog, 26%, Visayans, excluding Cebuano, Hiligaynon, and Waray, at 14.3%, Ilocano and Cebuano, both at 8%, Hiligaynon, 7.9%, Bicol, 6.5%, and Waray, 3%.
You do agree with me that so far they haven't mentioned anything about the origin of Filipinos according to the Bible. So far it's like, yeah, the origin of Filipinos just according to human beings, right? According to history, but not the Bible itself.
0.8%.
It's like they're reading
to these,
a Wikipedia page.
The country is home to 110 indigenous ethno-linguistic groups, totaling a population of 15.56 million in 2020. Among these indigenous groups are the Igorot, Lumad, Mangian, and the indigenous peoples of Palawan. The Negritos are considered some of the earliest inhabitants of the Philippines. This aboriginal minority group, of Australoid descent, is a remnant of the earliest human migrations from Africa to Australia and was later displaced by other waves of migration.
Interesting.
Ethnic Filipinos belong to several Southeast Asian ethnic groups, classified linguistically as Austronesians, speaking Malayo-Polynesian languages. Although the exact origin of the Austronesian population is uncertain, it is believed that relatives of the Taiwanese Aborigines brought their languages and intermixed with the local populations. The Lumad and Samabajo ethnic groups have ancestral affinities with Austroasiatic-speaking peoples such as the Tin and Mwabri of mainland Southeast Asia. Additionally, there is evidence of an expansion from eastern Indonesia and Papua New Guinea into Mindanao, detected in groups like the Blan and in the Sangir language. Immigrants arrived in the Philippines from other parts of the Spanish Empire, especially from Spanish America. A 2016 National Geographic study revealed that the inhabitants of the Philippine archipelago have a genetic composition with the following percentages: 53% Southeast Asian and Oceania, 36% East Asian, 5% Southern European, 3% South Asian, and 2% Native American, from Latin America.
Really?
Descendants of mixed couples are known as mestizos or tisoi.
Mestizos, yeah.
During the Spanish colonial period, these mestizos were...
That's the word that I learned from the rapper that sang Panalo, Easy Mill, right? Because in the song Panalo, he says, I ain't tisoy, I'm Pinoy, right? So yeah, he's not mestizo. He's not mixed.
Primarily composed of Chinese mestizos, mestizos de sangre, Spanish mestizos, mestizos de español, and their mixtures, tornatras. Today, Chinese Filipinos are well integrated into Filipino society. Most of them are descendants of immigrants from Fujian. In the early 20th century, during the American colonial era, it was estimated that there were about 1.35 million pure ethnic Chinese in the Philippines, while approximately
At this point, I feel like I have been clickbaited. I don't think they are going to say anything according to the Bible, which is shameful. Even at this point, even if they say something about it at the end, it is still considered clickbait because it would be 75% of the video information from the internet, like Wikipedia, and maybe 25% something according to the Bible, which is so... I really don't like the direction that YouTube is taking nowadays.
22.8 million Filipinos,
even the voice is
about
AI
20%
voice.
of the population, had some Chinese ancestry, whether...
And I'm not saying that I'm not learning anything from the video. I am, because obviously this is, information clearly from like Wikipedia or Chat GPT. I don't know. It sounds like there's a lot of accurate stuff. So I am learning things, but still, it's not why I clicked on this video.
From pre-colonial, colonial, or 20th century migrants. During the Spanish colonial period, mestizo Filipinos represented a moderate proportion of the tax-paying population, about 5%. In comparison, a smaller proportion of the population, approximately 2.33%, were Mexican Filipinos. In 2023, nearly 300,000 American citizens lived in the country, and it is estimated that up to 250,000 Amerasians, descendants of Americans and Filipinos, live in cities like Angeles, Manila, and Olongapo. Other significant non-indigenous minorities include Indians and Arabs. Japanese Filipinos, in turn, include descendants of Christian fugitives, Kirishidan, who escaped persecution under Shogun Tokugawa Ieyasu. Filipino and English are the official languages of the country.
Yep.
Filipino, a standardized version of Tagalog, is primarily spoken in the Manila metropolitan area.
They speak
Both
Taglish.
Filipino and English are used in government, education, printed and broadcast media, as well as in business, usually accompanied by a third local language. Code switching between English and other local languages, especially Tagalog, is common. The Philippine Constitution allows for the optional teaching of Spanish and Arabic.
Arabic?
Although the use of
Really?
Spanish, which was a lingua franca in the late 19th century,
I'm not
has
sure that's
decreased,
true though.
many Spanish loanwords are still
Spanish,
found in
yes,
Philippine
but
languages.
Arabic?
The biblical origin of the peoples of the Philippines can be traced to the descendants of Japheth, one of Noah's sons. Specifically, the lineage in question is the descent from Tagarma, son of Gomer, who in turn is the son of Japheth. Tagarma is considered the ancestral patriarch of the Filipino peoples, as well as other Asian and indigenous peoples of the Americas and Siberia. Additionally, Filipinos also have an ancestral connection to Ham, one of Noah's sons, or more precisely to one of the tribes descending from Ham, historically associated with peoples of black skin. This connection to Tagarma is not only a matter of genetic heritage but is also evident in the physical characteristics of Filipinos, such as almond-shaped eyes and dark, straight hair. These features indicate an Asian origin, aligning with
So
the descent
cute.
from Tagarma. It is worth noting that Tagarma is pointed out as one of the earliest ancestors of the Filipino peoples, but not the only one, which suggests a diverse ancestry that will be discussed further. The ancestry of the Filipino peoples is not restricted solely to the lineage of Tagarma, son of Gomer and grandson of Japheth. The light brown or tawny skin tone of Filipinos also suggests an influence from the tribes descending from Ham, who are associated with the Hamitic peoples. The genetic mix between the descendants of Tagarma, who have characteristics like almond-shaped eyes and lighter skin, and the Hamitic tribes, who have features associated with darker skin tones, resulted in the diversity observed in the appearance of the Filipino peoples. This combination gave rise to the typical brown or tawny skin
so
tone
pretty.
of many Filipinos. Additionally, the name Tagarma has an etymology that can be associated with broken or pulled, which relates to the characteristic of almond-shaped eyes, both of Tagarma and his descendants. The second ancestral father of the Filipino peoples is undoubtedly Ham. The brown and tan skin tone of many Filipinos reflects Hamitic influence, thus integrating into the genetic composition of the Filipino peoples. Therefore, the Filipino peoples are the result of the blending of the lineages of Ham and Japheth, specifically Tagarma, and one of the Hamitic tribes. This genetic combination explains the common brown and lighter skin tone among Filipinos.
I like the design around his eyes.
In summary, the origin of Filipinos can be traced from Japheth, through Tagarma, and also from Ham, represented by one of the Hamitic tribes. The analysis, based on Genesis chapter 10, illustrates how these lineages contributed to the formation of the Filipino peoples. I hope you enjoyed the video about the biblical origin of the Filipino peoples.
See, I knew it. I knew it that they were gonna leave the information that everybody clicked on the video for at the end, you know? So, why do you think that they started the video, or basically most of the video was the introduction of the Philippines, you know? It's because a 3-minute video wouldn't be enough, right? For YouTube, for monetization, for all that stuff. It's so frustrating. Like personally, I did not click for a summary about the Philippines. I'm always happy to listen and hear about the Philippines, but I know enough about the Philippines. I clicked to know the origins, and they gave it to me, but it was towards the end, man. Like seriously, that was frustrating. But it's good to know that apparently the origin of Filipinos is from two ancestral men, right? That are kind of like the brothers of Noah. Yeah. Okay, okie dokie. Let me know in the comment section below if you already knew about this and how does it make you feel, especially if you are Filipino. Do you even care about it, right? I mean, look, 100% Algerian, but honestly, I don't necessarily care about the origin of my people, you know? I mean, it's cool to learn about it, you know, especially if there are some interesting facts about it, but in the end, it's not gonna change our lives, right? So yeah, thank you. Maraming salamat po. And of course, if you found value in this video, do not hesitate to check out my other reaction videos right here.